Hey everyone, this video is for my girl Jack of All Trades 82. She is wonderful. I will have her link to her channel posted below as well. So basically what I'm doing is neutralizing my dark spots with a color corrector, and I'm using the NYX, the NYX Concealer in orange. I have mixed this with a foundation so it's not as bright. The original one was very bright orange, and I didn't care for that too much. It just brought too much brightness to my skin. But if you really like to have your skin a little bit more bright or vibrant, the straight orange one is very intensifying, very bright. So I didn't like that, so I mixed it. But yeah, that's all I'm doing is I'm color correcting, going over my eyes, under my eyes. I'm looking up. I'm making all kind of faces to stretch my skin so it would help with creasing. And right now, I'm just placing the product. And what I'm going to do is let it cook. And when it's cooking, and what I mean by cooking is sitting on the face and your skin is warming up the product. And mixing in with your own oils and things of that nature. So, what I will be doing in the next upcoming clip is blending it out. So I'm blending, I'm patting. I'm not smearing, I'm not rubbing, I'm patting. And even patting kind of moves the product. So I just pat very lightly, or if there's really dark spots, I just pat around the edges because I don't want that color corrector to move too much, because then I'll have to reapply it. That's all I'm doing. As you see, I went around my spot there. I didn't pat too much on it because the color corrector will, the color will start to show through. So that's all I'm doing. Blend, 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 blend. And previously I showed you another brush. You can use any kind of brush like that, foundation brush, concealer brush, to help you pat this into the skin. So next we have here is the regular concealer that's in my skin tone. This is the OCC concealer, and it's perfect. I think it's an R3. I'll have the information posted below. It's wonderful. It matches my color like nobody's business. However, it doesn't last long. It's not long lasting, so I typically have to set all of my concealer with powder. And please excuse my children in the background. They were very active, so you may see my daughter kind of peer in and out, both my daughters and my son. And I will have a couple of scenes where I do a color block on the background, and so that way, because my daughter is like running around, and I just kind of wanted to block her out. So basically, I'm going over the really dark spots, the ones on my chin, the one on the, I believe it's the right side of my face. That's where I have a lot of the dark spots at. And I'm just going over it thoroughly around my nose, the top of my forehead, everywhere where I have really extreme hyperpigmentation because of the eczema. So after that, I put it in and I kind of pat it a little bit to blend it. Now I'm going to set the concealer. This is how I do it. This is how I seem to get really good results, is when I set my concealer. And right now I'm not rubbing it in. I'm not smearing it in or whatever, because that's going to shift the concealer. So I'm patting it in with a kind of rolling motion to let it penetrate through. And I'm also going to let this cook as well, and that could be 5 minutes, a few minutes, or whatever your preference is, but I usually let it cook for about a couple of minutes. Whoop, now it's already cooked. Okay, and what I'm going to do is put some chapstick on because I have very dry lips, and this usually helps afterwards when I'm applying a lipstick if my lips are already pre-moisturized. And it also helps when I'm wearing matte lipstick, so that way it doesn't have a shimmer underneath, because my lips have absorbed the lip moisturizer. So you can use a fan brush, or you can use a powder brush. It's up to you. Sometimes I use the powder brush, sometimes I use the powder brush, but more than likely now I've been using the fan brush. It's your preference. So here I'm showing you what it looks like with the powder brush. And when I was recording this, I noticed that I liked the way the powder brush was getting rid of the excess powder on my face. So yeah, so my face is looking light, but it's concealed. You do not see the dark spots. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing this to walk out. I'm just doing this for concealing. So I look a little bit crazy. Okay. So next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking Black Opal's Beautiful Bronze, which is wonderful for my skin tone to contour with. And I'm pre-contouring. This is what I call it. And you don't have to contour on top of this, do another contouring on top of it. You can just walk out and just with this contouring system. So basically, the hollows of my cheeks, the very bottoms of my jaw, because all I'm doing is creating some kind of depth to make my face look smaller, more defined. And this is a waxy type product, so you can use a liquid foundation, and that works just as well. I've used liquid too before. Okay, so after that I go in and I'm going to highlight like a drag queen, because I'm going for a very dramatic, intense contour here. So I'm going to highlight. That's underneath my eyes, that's over my brows, under my brows, and on my chin, and on my cupid's bow, and on the sides as well. The reason I don't highlight directly my forehead is that I noticed that it's almost too shiny, and then if I bronze, do like a really shimmery bronze, it makes my forehead in pictures and in real life look very, very shimmery, shiny, and that is something that I do not like. I don't mind being shimmery, I don't mind being glittery, but I don't want to look like I have a greasy, over bronzed forehead. So that's kind of the effect that I have gotten because I put too much on my forehead. So now I'm just going in and I'm patting. patting, 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 blending, 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 patting, patting. And now this is kind of like a illuminator, and you want to do this before you set your foundation or the contour, because after you set everything and you go back and you put the illuminator on, it causes patchy dryness, and you'll have to wipe off your whole face and do it all over again. And this is Black Opal Concealer and Honey. This has been one of my favorites. Very, very good for highlighting. I could have just used this one, but again, I'm going for a more intense look, and the lighter concealer makes this pop a little bit more. And again, I'm going in, I'm patting in, and I'm blending out as best as I can. Going in with the chin, underneath the mouth, around the mouth. Also going to be, I think I went in on the sides too, I'm not for sure. Let's see. Got a spot there, so I'm blending that out as well. So this is now looks crazy. I know my face looks crazy, so I'm taking a stippling brush and I'm using CoverGirl's foundation and Mocha. This was the first time using Mocha. It's slightly a little bit darker than the caramel, warm caramel one I'm used to wearing. So I'm hoping that this doesn't go down the crapper. So pretty much I'm putting it around the middle area, the light areas, and I'm working with that first, and I'm doing light strokes because I don't want it to smear, and I don't want it to move the concealers underneath. And now the last step that I do is that I go around the contoured areas last, so that way it doesn't overly blend into the center of my face. Just smoothing it out. Smoothing out. Oh, piece of hair, don't know where that came from. Just smoothing it out, and I'm using the rest of the foundation. And I use about 2.5 to 3 pumps of the CoverGirl, and the CoverGirl I tend to use 2 to 3 pumps to get a really good full dead-on coverage when I'm doing this method. So I'm going underneath my chin, dabbing here, dabbing there, just taking my time. And I know I look kind of crazy, I look very dewy, but what you want to do is you're going to want to let this cook. Sorry, I'm looking down, that's my little girl spilled something on the ground and I wasn't too happy, so that's why I was looking over there. Okay, so I'm just going over my hairline because I want to make sure that those edges are blended as much as possible, because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with the stick foundation, and I'm just going over it again, blending. Okay, so it's cooked. I have not set this or anything. It's just fully absorbed into my skin and it's dry. You do not have to do anything after this. Do some setting powder and you're done. This is a very light contour, at least for me, and it's a lot more everyday-ish. Here's a picture of what it looks like. Very, very nice. You don't have to do anything but set it at this point. What I'm going to do is contour even more on top of the contour that's underneath my foundation. Yes, and this is really good for pictures, videos, if you've got a special thing you're going to, a special event, because this took me a long time. I think this took me about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And that's just taking my time concealing and everything else like that. That's just not realistic for everyday wear unless you just want to do it that way. But up to this point, it'd probably be about 30 minutes all in all. So I'm going back over and I'm highlighting again. This time I'm not putting so much on, but I'm highlighting again, and I'm highlighting the chin, the sides. Again, this is giving my face definition, and it's making my under eyes brighter and more lively and flawless. So I'm just patting it in, patting it in. And it's also on the sides here, it helps clean up any kind of contouring that you want to look a little bit more sharper, a little bit more precise, or maybe you put too much. It also helps with that as well. So now, after I'm satisfied with how it looks, and I go back over it with the powder. The powder is by Derma Blend. It's a translucent powder. It does not give you a white cast. I'm very happy with the product. And now I'm going to bronze. I'm just using the CoverGirl because CoverGirl for some straight, rugged, hardcore contouring. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm very happy that I have it, and it's definitely going to be on my repurchase list. And pretty much what I've done is I just placed the contour, and I'm kind of letting it sit there while I'm contouring my nose. Contouring your nose is optional. It's personal preference. You know, I'm not ashamed of my nose or anything like that. It's just that I like the way that it looks a little bit more defined, a little more sharper. And what I'm going to do is blend out these edges, the inside of my eyes and whatnot as much as possible. I kind of got heavy-handed with this. It's better to do it with an eyeshadow brush, personally, in my opinion. I just kind of grabbed the first thing I had I could see to place the product. That's my son behind me. Excuse him. He's talking about he can't pass a level on Super Mario Brothers, and I asked my daughter to help him. So I go back over. I kind of jacked my nose up a little bit, so I go back over with some concealer. So now I'm going back and I'm blending things out. I'm taking it like another powder brush, and I'm going over the contour very lightly. I'm not digging my brush into my skin, just very lightly. And again, my contouring is very hard. You can blend and have that blend out even more. It's your personal preference. If you want to even get a little bit more heavy-handed, you want to totally Grace Jones it. If I haven't Grace Jonesed it enough for you, you can totally add some more. It's up to you. It's personal preference. Now I'm going back over everything to make sure I'm happy with what I have. I went back and blended some more, patted underneath my eyes. Now I'm going to take some e.l.f. spray. Oh, sorry. Now I'm going to take some blush. This is a very, very, very light blush by Lancome. I don't remember the name of it. It's very, very soft and very, very unnoticeable, and that's what I'm going for, is a softer look. I don't want a really bright cheek with all this contouring going on. So I'm smiling to make sure I'm placing it right at the cheeks, right at the apples of my cheeks. And after I'm happy with that, I set it with the e.l.f. spray, which helps keep the blush and the bronzer in place. So here's the final results. I hope this was helpful. This is just absolutely my favorite way to do makeup, but it just takes such a long time, but it's so worth it in the end. And I did my eyebrows while and I already did my lips, and you can just walk out just like that. I didn't do any eyeshadow. I just left it like this. So thanks for watching. I have some pictures afterwards. Rate, comment, subscribe if you like. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments, and I'll try to get back to them as quickly as possible. But again, thank you for watching. All right, bye.